Hi, everybody. Michelle and Kaylee here, and we have a special guest tonight on our Zoom. Michael Shamody. Is that how I say it, Michael? Or Shamody?
You got it. You got it good. It's fine.
All right. And we had the pleasure of meeting him in Florida. I can't even talk today. In Florida, and we just got to know him a lot better, and we loved his story, and we loved his expert and color personalities. So we're going to have him kind of take over here. But Michael, before we get started, I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
How did you get started in It Works?
I got started with It Works with my direct upline, which is my partner, which is Travis McCarty. I was not a believer. I was a huge pyramid scheme type person, primarily because I worked for a corporate company for the last 15 years, and I didn't really believe that there was something that could make you astronomical amounts of money on any level. So, I was very skeptical. So Travis had been talking to his upline at that current time and had gotten him involved. And then after really they started talking to me a little bit more about the comp plan, and then I had to do my own research because I'm a green. I had to fully analyze the whole company and everything about it before I decided to commit to it. So that's kind of how I got into the business. Afterwards, I said, okay, I'll give it a try. Biggest thing that I said, though, whenever I stepped into it was that I'm not giving it 3 months. I'm not going to give it 12 months. I'm going to give it 5 years and see exactly what this business can do for me. So, I haven't hit 5-year mark. I'm at 2.5 right now, and I've been, I'm pretty happy with where I'm currently at and happy where we're going in the future. So it's definitely been proving me wrong on all my aspects of that.
That's awesome. So why are you doing the business?
I'm sorry, hon?
What's your why? Why are you doing this?
I'll tell you, Travis and I both knew that at some point in time we were going to get married. We're going to be married October 8th of this year, so that's a big thing. But the wedding really wasn't the problem. It was the child part that we had to go through. And we want to go through a surrogacy, and to start that surrogacy, just each multiple time that we have to try is $20,000 or more. So our biggest why is that if we could start out in this business making an extra $500 a month, that would be something to contribute to whether we were going to be in debt with the process or if we were going to be out of debt with the process. At least we had something extra coming in that was going to, help us go through the process of having a child one day.
Wow. And I know I'm going to ask you, with your green personality, what's the most exciting thing that's ever happened to you with It Works?
Well, I have two big moments in It Works. I can say that one was March of 2016, this past year. I hit the double good bonus for $20,000. So that was definitely amazing. I had my whole team around me that night. People were just patiently waiting for last minute volume to come in, and then it went ecstatic, and I ran outside to do my end zone dance, as Mark wanted us to be doing at that point in time. So it was like, all that energy in that room that night was phenomenal. My second biggest was just this past conference when we were down at Green Carpet, and that was where they they acknowledged us for our promotions, and I actually got to walk the stage this year. So it was definitely a big home hitter for me that I got to walk across the stage where many Millionaires Club people are sitting on every conference that we go through. So that'd be my two big ahas.
That's awesome. And I see right there behind you, you have "I Rock the Stage" on your wall there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and that's my dream. That's our dream board behind us as well. So that's everything that we want to be able to do and cross off. And we've got a few empty spots in there now that we've taken some things off of there. But One was our boat. You know, we were humongous about, we wanted to have our boat, and we both love water. We both wanted a boat, and this past year we bought that boat, so we got a gap in there, so we're still dreaming bigger. We just haven't quite filled that spot in yet, so we're working on that right now.
That's amazing. Well, I loved hearing your story and more about you and your dream board and rocking the stage. Now we're going to get into the grind of the meeting about colors, and why are you so passionate about these colors? Go ahead and tell us your story with the colors and teach us a little bit something that we need to know.
Absolutely. Your colors are how you relate to people. And when you guys are signing distributors and even loyal customers, you've got to figure out how you're going to gauge that conversation with those people. The colors that we come across are green, yellow, red, and blue, and they all mean something completely different. And I'll break that down as we go, but the colors give you an opportunity to know how to angle the conversation on how you're going to approach it with that loyal customer and or that potential distributor. So to start with, to give you a little bit of rundown of the different colors, I'll just start off with one, but your blues. I mean, has anyone in the group actually taken a color test? Has your people taken color tests?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got some waves in here. So any of the people in here that I can see right now are greens. Any greens in the room?
Can you explain what that is, just for the people who don't know?
A color green?
Mm-hmm.
A color green is a person that is a organized person, a very organized person. They do a lot of research. When they joined, they probably took at least 2 weeks to a month to really kind of figure out exactly what they wanted to do, because they're analyzing, they're taking in a lot of data. Occupations that go behind greens a lot of times are accountants, as I call bean counters. So those types of people, they're very analytical. They love charts. They love a lot of the back end of the business. They could be very good trainers type people. They just really like to analyze things, and it takes them a long time. They're normally a lot of times behind the mouth on the business, because greens typically have to think about things a lot before they make the decision. So that is what a green typically, a green would be. Your yellows are your helpers. Those are those people that, want to give big squishy hugs and love the whole world and don't mind going the extra mile, as in, helping you set up a meeting room, and helping you, prepare labels and do this and do that, and anything that they can involve themselves in. But they really push themselves around a lot of charities, donations. They like to put a lot of their time into those things, and that with it works. I mean, that's the number one thing that we can say. We are give back. We do give back. Our company motto does that, and we do have a lot of different charities that we give to. So that is something right there that automatically jumps out to yellow people, is that they want to be able to help. They want to be able to donate their time. They want to be able to, help one another, and anything that you can put help with is something that you would want to hone in on, that you have a potential yellow that you're talking to at that current time. Blues. Your blue people, they normally never stop talking, okay? Their mouth's running 106 miles an hour. They are the type of people that love the party. They've been there, done that. They are within the crowd. They are around all of the people. They will not go over and sit alone. They've got to just be out there. Their energy is bursting, and those types of people are your signers. I mean, those are your distributor. Those are your runners and distributors, because they're talking so much And they're not realizing that, but a lot of the times you can't get a word in with a blue. So when you do finally get that opportunity to get a word in with a blue, you've got to make it very, very catchy. So the number one thing that we can talk about as a blue in our business right now is we have a cruise, right? Blues love to party. They want to have a good time. They want to be able to go and be on that cruise. Our events, our corporate events are something huge to talk to blues about because they want to be able to go down to the beach, hang out, be able to talk about everything that they want to talk about, have a good time, drink some cocktails, have, the whole 9 yards. That's what a blue is all about. They will always be the last voice. Never going to get the last word with those types of people because they are just so prone on talking. And those are the ones that you want to get out there and really start pumping on distributorship, you know what I mean? On recruitment. Those types of people really can take the recruitment to a whole nother level. I mean, you experience that. A rundown of your red, they are your powerhouse. Leaders. All colors are not leaders, but they are the ones that will come in and they will take control of everything. They will push. They know how to push. They know how to hit your weak spots. They know how to grab a hold of you and say, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to be doing, because they are directive type people and they're very driven on directions. So they are going to push that. A lot of the times reds will always say that they're yellows, that they have a little bit of yellow in them. And don't let them bask on that because they're full of shit. The only time that a red is being a yellow is whenever it is coming into something for themselves. So when they are telling you, you need to work, it's normally to their own benefit. So they're pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, but you are following them and you're feeling like they are helping you the whole way through the process. But they have their own motive. They already know what their motive is. And it may not be for a promotion or for a paycheck, but it's more or less they're saying, we're getting you out of your element and I'm going to push you to the next level. You've got to step out of your zone. And they're very, very directive people. And I can tell you that my top color is red. My secondary color is green. But when they come side by side, they're just about the same. I would say my red's a little higher than my green, but it definitely is comparable. So if you have never taken a personality test, the best test that I have found is the markasenta.com. All you really have to do is just Google Mark Ascenta, and Mark is M-A-R-C, and just start to spell Ascenta, and it's A-C-C-E-T-T something. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah, I'm going to post it on the Superstar page for you guys, okay?
Okay. But if you start to Google that process, Google that website, it's going to take you about a good 30 minutes to complete. But I'm going to tell you something that has to happen. You have to become true with yourself when you take that test. You cannot go into that test and say, oh, well, this is what I want to be. No, we need to figure out what you are right now and be completely honest with questions, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day whether you're a red, a blue, a yellow, a green, because I'll give you a full scenario here shortly on how they all kind of work together at the end of the day. But be completely true with yourself. And the next tip to the personality test is at least once every 6 months to a year, you should be retaking that test, because how many of you guys self-develop on a daily basis?
Yeah.
So you're reading some sort of book, you're doing some sort of audio, you're doing some sort of training. And when your mind starts to change, so does your color. When a yellow has gotten so tired of being the push off, meaning that they're trying to help you the whole way through the process, but they just can't figure it out. They finally get pissed off. And when a yellow gets mad, that's when you see a lot of the red come out, meaning that they're fed up with it. So taking that test again every, as I said, every 9 to 12 months, every 6 to 12 months is not a horrible thing. Not something that you have to sit here and post about, but it's something that you can know for yourself, for your own self-development journey, that you are somewhat changing. And change is not a horrible thing. If you were starting to change from a blue to a green, well, that's not a horrible thing. That just means that you're getting a little more organized with your business, and that, it's not so much about the party anymore. So if it's not so much about the party anymore, and you're more focused on organizing your group and having group events, and you're holding those things, you're actually taking a blending of all colors in those aspects. So those are the key things that you want to keep in mind when you're taking those tests. Be completely true to yourself when you're doing those, and you'll find that you're going to come out on top, because you now have a starting basis. If your goal is that you want to be more red, well, then you've got to self-develop to red. You've got to go through experiences. You've got to go through process and time, and you will become more red once you start to see those types of things and you develop yourself to. Excuse me.
No problem.
To kind of throw it into a nutshell here for you, I want you guys to think about a ballroom for a second. And when you walk into a ballroom, if a green was to walk into a ballroom right now, and there was, 10 tables there, and 6 of the tables are completely full with people over there chatting and talking and going back and forth and catching up and whatsoever. Picture that the green is going to walk in, and that they're going to find the table farthest away from every person that could be any type of conversation to them at that point in time. You're going to find that green sitting alone. They're going to enter that room and just sit alone. Then you have a blue walk into the room. Well, that blue is going to walk in, and they're going to look over at that person that's the green, and they're going to say, I ain't being the only one by myself. Bullshit. I'm going over here where everybody else is talking. So they go running over there, and they're chatterboxing it, and their mouth's running like a duck's butt in blueberry season, and they don't even know what's going on. And, they have so many stories, and they're talking about all of these different things that are going on, and, they can relate to so many things, but their mouth's just running. So they're over here with all of the people that are at that table. The yellow walks into the room, and the yellow starts to say, oh, well, there are a lot of nice people sitting over at that table, all of those people congregating together, but I just really feel bad for the guy over there that's green. I feel like I need to help him. I feel like I need to give him a big squishy hug. And I feel like I need to, see how he's doing and how everything's going in life. So most likely the yellow will go over and congregate with the green because they felt bad. They're helpers. They feel the need that they need to come out and just cuddle anyone that doesn't feel like they're a part of something. Okay, so if that's you, you have a very unique gift as a yellow, because you can find those types of people and figure out how to make them feel accepted. The only thing is that when the yellow goes over to sit by the green is not going to want that to happen. If you hug a green, they're going to pretty much freeze up like an icicle pop. They don't want you anywhere near them at that point in time, because they are just the type of people that sit on the back end and they're watching. They're listening. They're taking it all in. They're taking notes. They're going to go home and they're going to probably write out 3 or 4 different theories that they came up with from that meeting. and what they actually got from it. You know, that's what they're really doing. It's not that they don't want to go over here and talk to someone. It's just more or less that they got their notebook out. They're waiting for the meeting to get started, and they could give two craps about the person trying to give them a hug or the 1,700 blues over there talking about how great they are and the 1,300 successes that they've had in their lives, because that's what they're going to do. Well, then out of nowhere, you have the big bad red come walking into the door. And that's going to be the leader at that current time, because they're going to walk in and they are going to start saying, no, this is not working out. I do not like that green's over there by themselves. I don't like that yellow's over here hugging people. I want those 12 chairs here moved over here. The microphone needs turned up. The lighting sucks. Get this thing going on, because I need some spotlight when I start talking. And you bitches better sit down and start to listen to what I've got to say, because this is what is going to happen. And if you aren't going to listen to me, you guys can exit right out that door right now, because I know green's going to, blues, shut up. Just blues, shut up. I'm trying to speak. They take complete control of the room. They are setting it up. They are saying how this is going to be, and they could give two craps about what the other three colors are currently doing at that point in time, because they have one thing in their mind: what they are going to accomplish that night. They are pushers. They are the type of people that are going to say, this is what's going to work, and this is what's not going to work. So that's kind of how the room works with all the different colors in the room. So when you look at how the colors break down in the business, a lot of people then ask me that question is, okay, well, it sounds like a person that's green sucks because they don't want to do anything more. Well, I can tell you I'm the biggest, I'm pretty well green too, but what you have to realize is that with your greens in the business, they're going to be more social media type people. Okay, they're not that belly-to-belly type person that can go out and just have the upstanding feeling of, I can go hand a card to someone and blitz, wrap, and repeat. They're going to be more of a social media-driven type person. They don't like a whole lot of interaction with people. They would rather get you going to the website, and if they have to get on the phone with you, it's going to be very minimum, and it's going to complete details of what you've got to do to complete your task so I can get the hell off the phone with you because I really don't want to talk to you anymore. All right, so you can take those types of people and make them something just because they're social media type people. They're very technology type people. If you talk to a lot of greens, a lot of them probably own an Xbox, a PlayStation, or whatever else, because that's what they enjoy doing. They're like that Harry Potter theme type thing going on there. Nothing wrong with that at all, completely. There's nothing wrong with that. You take a yellow, and you've got to be able to look at them and say how it's going to help someone, meaning that whenever you talk to that person, it's and a great way to get a yellow personality involved in your business and even inviting them into the business is basically inviting them to come help you set up your wrap party. If you have someone on the fence, don't call them and say, hey, I want you to come over and listen to what I have to talk about tonight because I'm a complete red and that's what you should do. No, I want you to come over and before you come, make sure you bake some cookies, and that's going to help me set up the room. And then I just kind of want you to sit there and listen and be helpful. You know, if somebody needs a chair or if somebody needs an extra napkin, make it completely about them helping in the business. And when you start to talk about the key things through the party pad, and you start to get all excited, because you know how we all get excited with the party pad, you know, it just makes me burst through my shirt, you know, because, you know, you're talking about those key things. You want to target that person, you're inviting them there. Yeah, there's 4 other people listening, but you have to put it in your mind at that current time that I'm targeting this potential distributor here right now. Now we're going to talk about everything that It Works gives back, that we go through sex trafficking laws, and that we give back to those types of things, and that we give, that our team, our own communities, and what we do, and that you could be a part of this. You could help us change other people's lives. And that's what you really embellish when you're going through the whole party pad at that current time, because that's what's going to pop out to your potential distributor. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I could just do so much. And they're just going to melt. But it all just started by you telling them to bake some damn cookies and come over and help me set up my meeting. That's how you invite a yellow to a party. I have to step back for a second to talk about the greens, because this is the part that I missed on the greens. How do you actually invite a green? Well, you have to go green for a minute with them, first of all. And you have to, the way that you invite them is that you say, listen, I want you to come to a meeting with me tonight. It's about a business that I've started, and I'm trying to get some more information about this business and how I'm going to be successful in doing so. They are big note takers. They're big people that analyze things. All you're going to do with the green that night is take them to the meeting and literally let them sit and listen. They're going to gather their thoughts. They're going to write down their stuff. And then at the end of the night, you are going to end up with them as this. Now that we have completed our theory of this business, what I would like to do now is us to go back and analyze our notes and then come up with whether this business would be good for us. They heard the whole spiel. They now know what's going on. And then they're going to go back and they're going to do their research. And meaning, let me just tell you, if they didn't do it during the meeting while they were going home, they're already Googling the hell out of It Works. They're looking everything up. By the next morning, they're waking up and saying, oh my God, it was founded in 2001. They were debt-free in 2006. They went international in 2011. They did this, they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this. The guy's name's Mark Pennicott. They're going to know it all. Let me tell you that when the green finally decides to join, that person will be the most trusted person you have within your group, meaning that they have already done the homework. And when they commit to something, they will be true to you forever. They are there till the end. They're not going anywhere. So that's what a green will do for you. And we'll talk about a blue. Now, a blue, you have to, first of all, you've got to get them to stop talking for a second. That's the number one thing. You have to learn that with a blue that they're never going to stop talking. They're going to know everything that's fun. They are going to just jump out of their skin in complete excitement. Blues are great for party pads, let me just say, because their hopes, their dreams, everything comes out into a blue. It don't even look fake at that point in time. I had to do a party pad probably 106 times before I finally felt like I didn't sound cheesy. You know what I mean? So I worded it my way and tweaked it. And, I walk in, I'm like, how many of you rapped today? And they're like, I did. You got a little loud, but okay. So, I do end up really getting excited whenever I do a party pad. But that's just because I've done it a little bit now. And, when I first started to do it, it was kind of like, this is what you do. Take that thing out there and slap it wherever the hell you want. Just don't put it on your face. And, that's kind of how I did it whenever I first started. And, it didn't turn out too well for me because there was no excitement. So you got to get excited about it. But anyhow, let me get back to the Blues. They are probably the most excited people when they get fired up about the party pad, and they're awesome. But the way that you talk to a Blue is this. You tell them, hey, I want to invite you to a party tonight. You don't have to say that it's a rap party, and you don't have to really tell them what it is. They already are inclined. They heard party. That's what's going on in their mind. Hashtag party. They don't need to know that it could be, this or that. You just tell them it's a party. And you say it's a lot of fun. You're going to hear a lot of different things, and there's stuff in there about that we could possibly do some traveling, and there's some things in there about how we could possibly go on a cruise, and that we could do this, we can do that. That's all things that start to trigger in their mind, and they're like, oh, I will definitely be there. I have to hear about this. If it could be a cruise, or if it could be me traveling more, or if it could be me at the next socialite party, talking about this, talking about that, because they love the microphone. But just remember that when the red walks in the room, the red will just rip that right from their hands. And then they're sitting there and they're like all mopey. That's the only time they'll get quiet, is when the red walks in the room. But what you have to find is that they want to have a good time. And you have to angle it to them about our business, about how it's a good time. And to do so, you basically take those few things that we have there. It's fun. Do we not have fun at rap parties? Right? Do we not have fun while we are going on a cruise? Do we not have fun while we are traveling to go on an event? Do we not have fun when we go to a one team, one mission? Do we not have fun while we're partying out in the car the whole way to a rap party? Whatever we do at that current time, that's how you have to angle it with those types of people, because they are not going to listen. Other than a party, having fun, that it's a good time. If you go in there and you're like, oh, you should see the compensation plan, it's completely sexy, they're going to be like, okay, I am not interested in any of the shit you just said, but you did say something about a cruise, so I think I may show up. Okay? So then you have Reds. And they're very fun people. They can hold a lot of character traits, but the way that you are going to invite a Red is that you got to talk numbers to these. Reds are very analytical people. They are analytical in the aspect of the greens, but the greens will break analyticals down 17 different ways. A Red's going to walk in and say, I want to know how I'm going to make money from this point to this point. Meaning, you're talking to me about a $500 Ruby bonus. You need to explain to me step by step how that's going to happen. That's the analytical part of a Red. You want to invite a Red to a party, you need to be talking to them in money terms. You got to be talking to them in entrepreneur terms, meaning that they have the freedom of their own business. They own it. That's the number one thing with a Red. That will just jump out to them. Oh my God, it's mine. I can do what I want with it. I can build my own team. I can create things. I can run with this and run with that. And numbers are huge to them. So you have to definitely explain to them that when you're talking to them about, just getting started, they want to know what it costs, how they're going to get their return on investment. They want to know how they're going to make money. The Reds are those types of people that are huge runners. They will hit the floor and go, because they have, once they get the vision and get the ball, they can really take off, because they have their vision. They know what they're going to do. They know how to utilize a blue, they know how to utilize a red, and they know how to utilize a green. They are very manageable type people. The biggest thing, as I said before, you have to remember that with a red, they are going to take complete ownership of everything. That mic is going to be in their hand. They want to do the talking, they want to do the directing, The hiring and the firing is basically what those types of people are. Obviously, they can't hire or fire anybody in this business, but that's the background that they have. So those are 4 different ways to invite colors into your scheme. So when you look at it in a broad position of this is, how they fit in the room and how you invite them to your party, what I've just told you is probably the most effective way of doing so. You have to take those things out and apply it to them. So, same comes down to social media. Everybody knows what a hashtag is, right? Right?
Yeah. Guys.
So when you guys are making posts about your business opportunities, you want to be targeting those 4 colors. So you want to be talking about a hashtag, that applies to a blue, meaning hashtag it works cruise, or hashtag cruise time, or hashtag party, or hashtag whatever is fun to a blue, okay? When you're talking to a yellow, you're talking about helping. You are making posts about, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I joined this business because it has enabled me to be able to help so many people change their lives. And we give back to so many different charities. And you're going to start to pick those types of people out. Your greens, they're hard to get a hold of in a social media setting. You got to hit some key points with them, and let me just say that sometimes you got to just kind of step out of your element a little bit with them. And if you're talking to a green, you're going to know very quickly. They're very one-worded type people. You say, hey, how are you doing? How was your weekend? Hey, it was good. And they're going to wait for the next question. You'll figure that out very quickly. Surf your social media pages and look at your potentials. Like, do yourself a little bit of homework before you start calling someone that you want to have a part of your business, and know a little bit about them before you're contacting them. Just because you guys were your friends, look at really, a lot of people focus a lot of their life into Facebook. And if it isn't Facebook or Instagram, or if it's just in person, try to get some probing things to figure out what color they kind of are. So, some questions. If I'm talking to Callie, I'm going, okay, so, do you like to help people?
Yeah.
And she's going to give me an answer, okay? And then I'm going to say, okay, are you very organized? Are you, do you like numbers? Do you like to count things? They kind of, and then they give you your answer. And then you say, do you like to go on cruises? Do you like to go to the beach? Do you like to party? Do you like, that, as they're giving you those answers, you're already kind of knowing what they are. I did this with Callie when we were down in Florida, and we talked for probably a good hour about colors, and I talked to her for what I thought she was. Was I pretty well spot on whenever we talked? Okay, so go ahead.
No, I just said yes.
Oh, okay. But I was pretty well spot on with just the different things we talked about, because I made a bit off a little bit, but it gives you enough to kind of know which angle to grab and run with. And you can do this with loyal customers. You can do this with potential distributors, more so with the potential distributors, but the loyal customer side is the same thing. When you're talking to those types of people and they're not anywhere interested in your business, you're talking to them on the level of, how can I help you and what can I do for you? And that's, a lot of customer service driven type things for them. And what they're going to experience is that you'll know how to sell it to them then. Meaning that if you message someone and say, hey, have you heard about that crazy rap thing? No. But you hear nothing else from them, they're probably agreeing. If you ask a blue, have you heard about that crazy rap thing? Oh yeah, I did. Oh my gosh, this one time whenever I was down in Florida, I seen about it. I seen this card, then I went over here, and then I went to Georgia, and I went to Massachusetts, and I went here. I seen all about these cards, but I just don't know what it is. Okay, now you know you're talking to a blue. When you're talking to a yellow in that aspect, a lot of times it's going to be more about how you can help them. So you're asking different questions about their lifestyle and their health, and they're going to give you very direct answers, because that's what they do. They're going to take that. A red's just going to want to know what it costs them immediately, what the stipulations are to it. They're going to want to know. They want to know, is this some gimmick? Does it work? Doesn't it work? The whole 9 yards. They're going to give you that whole spiel, because they're not going to invest money into something that they don't feel comfortable with doing, because that's just going to be a waste of dollars to them. So that's kind of how you have to run with them. You have to be able to angle it and turn it back towards them, and then go in for the approach for the loyal customer part of it. And the same thing on the distributor end. You've just got to listen. And a lot of the times in this business, as I always say, we have to learn how to shut up and listen. We don't listen enough. When you start to listen more to these people, you're going to figure out what their color is, and then your lock-in ratio is probably going to go up to 90 to 100%, and you're going to start signing people, because you're going to see that I've taken my time. I shut my mouth. I didn't word vomit, meaning that somebody comes to me and says, well, what is it? What is it works? What is it about? And you start, oh my gosh, it's a crazy rap thing. We got 38 products. We got this. We got that. We can do this. We can do that. I got a cruise. I got this. I can help you. You just blew them out of the water. They are so overwhelmed at that point where they're like, this bitch is cray cray. I can't talk to her right now. So it doesn't work out. You just sunk yourself because you tried to tell them every angle of it. You tried to make them a blue, a red, a green, and a yellow. Well, what happens when you mix all those colors? Black. That means you ain't getting shit. Okay? So that's how you have to angle talking to these people. Take your time, listen to them, let them ask the questions. Question gets asked, question gets answered. Wait for the next question. Don't start giving away information that doesn't need to be given at that point in time. It's not necessary. So that is kind of how your colors work. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I can add to that. Is there something you felt like I missed?
No, I think you hit on it. I just think we have some questions, and Michelle wants to address you.
Yeah. Okay. Michael, I learned so much from you, with the personalities and everything. And it was the first time that I took my personality test, and mine was red, and I'm a red mainly. And it's so spot on, because end of the month, I'm calling Kaylee. Just tell me where my number is. Tell me what I got to do. Just get me there, So what I really liked about your team was how you guys utilized each other to handle personalities on your team too. And I think that's really important, because we all bring something different to the table, and we can all, work really hard together to build our teams tight if we understand each other's personalities and, who we can delegate to deal with other people too. So I don't know if you want to touch on how you guys handle things too.
Sure. I can say that on a team level is that once you have figured out your personality colors, that you start to figure out how you guys can work with one another. And she hit it spot on. So, whenever we're talking about, like we want to have a team meeting, you know what I mean? So who's going to help us do a team meeting? A yellow. Who's going to gather the statistics and everything that we need to see as far as group volumes and, where we're sitting at for the month and, who promoted and all that. It's going to be a red a lot of the times, because they want to just implode that type of information. But they may go to a green to say, hey, can you help me gather this data? Because a green's going to love to do those types of things for them. They will be the ones that walk in and keep things organized. You're going to have your yellows in there that's going to make it completely helpful. Your blues are going to walk in and make it fun as hell. They're going to be the ones that most likely that are going to be the person that's arranging where the meeting could go or what we could be doing or what could be fun, to make a complete team event and, just bring it all out of ourselves. But at the end of the day, your red's going to walk in and they're going to run it all. They're going to just say, you're going to have, and you have a lot of reds that can walk in. So a lot of times you have to be a little respectful to it, to who's actually meeting it is. So if it's Callie's meeting, she's going to be the dominant red at that point in time. So she's most likely going to get to do that. If it is Michelle's meeting, she's most likely going to walk in at time and be the dominant red in that aspect. But you can take your colors and you can bring your team in so much involvement. And how you utilize them a lot of the times. And that's what you got to look at, whether they're a distributor, whether they are executive, ruby, emerald, diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, whatever the case may be. You utilize people the same way every time. It builds group. It builds your group. It brings people together. It makes everyone feel like they are a part of the team. And sometimes you just have to change that up. So if you guys are having meetings and if you're a ruby, whatever, you have 5 people directly below you. How do you manage all that? Well, let's say you have 5, you're a ruby with 5 people completely under and you're all yellows. Well, you're probably not going to come to a decision on a lot of things because everybody's just going to be going back and forth about who can help make the cupcakes. But you want to reach out to, your upline and have help with that. I mean, if you guys are having smaller groups type things, somebody has to be able to take the lead. Somebody has to be able to do the analytical. Somebody has to be able to make it fun, and someone has to be able to make it and help it bring it all in. So when you guys are talking about your teams, those are the types of things. So if you're a yellow, be proud to be a yellow today. It doesn't mean you're going to be a yellow all your life, but for today, you're a yellow. So you know what? You know already that you like to make cupcakes and that you like to help out and you like to, help your team grow and you like to do all of that, then take that initiative and make that part of your business, make that part of your group, make that part of your contribution to the team at that current time. Your blues, those are going to, as I said, those are going to be the people that wants to look at the venue. They want to know how to make it fun. Oh my gosh, maybe if we had a wrap raffle and, everybody brought a free wrap, and if we had 25 people there, one person's going to go home with 25 wraps. That's awesome. But the blue probably would be the one that would be coordinating something like that. Your greens, they're going to be the ones that are going to be helping the reds. They're going to say, okay, who all promoted this month? And the blues are going to be trying to figure out what to make it fun for some little gift that, that the upline wants to give to the downline for hitting ruby or for hitting, executive or for hitting diamond or whatever the case may be. Do you see kind of how it all comes together? That's what you want to utilize your colors for within your downlines and within your groups. Get every person involved. But if you do not know what their color is, you do not know how to work with them. And that is one of our biggest things in our group is that we need to know not only on a event building type thing or you need to know how to work with them and relate to them at that current time. So if they're yellow, you have to be able to talk to them in a yellow conversation, not in your red conversation. If you're red is just going to completely devastate them. They don't care about the money right now. You know what they care about? They care about helping someone else. When you're talking to your blue, you got to talk to them about the next team event that's completely fun and that you got to get on this cruise this year. I want you there with me. And, you've got to be at this event. You've got to come to this with me. You've got to make it continuously fun for them. Your greens, a lot, as I said, a lot of the times with the greens, they're the people that are more reserved, they're setting it back. But you have to learn how to talk to them and say, listen, you know what? You see the compensation plan. You know what is there. You got to take more of a social media approach with those types of people, get them going in that direction, and get them tackling something where they don't have to have a lot of interaction with people, because it's going to frustrate the hell out of them. And then you're red, those types of people that whenever it comes to the business and you're speaking to them already in terms of as a team, is that, make it a contest with those types of people. Even with a blue, even with a yellow, they all love contests, but with a red, they will run like hell with a contest. You throw out there that we're going to give $100 worth of, $100 to the It Work store to this person next month, they are just going to kill it because they want to win. They want to taste it.
Michael, you gave us so much information, and I totally love it. And we got about 10 minutes left, or wrapping up here before the call. But I really like how you define the different personalities. But what I kind of got from that is it doesn't matter what personality that you are, because like sometimes people may think, oh, there's only reds that are leaders, or there's only this. And the truth of the matter is there's all 4 different colors that are top ambassadors. They just learned how to use the color chart to their advantage and make it work for them, you guys. So own your color. Just be like, if you're like he said with yellow, if you need a little more red, learn how to take a couple things from a red, but don't try to make yourself a red if you're not a red. If your personality is truly that, then own it. Just learn how to talk to the different personalities. So I want to open up the next just a couple minutes. If you guys, anybody can unmute themselves, would like to ask a question, we'll just give you a second to unmute yourself, please.
Come on, someone's got a question. Amy?
I think they're all good. So did you guys all like this color personality test? Did it give you an eye opener on your color personalities? Great. If you haven't taken that color personality, I'm going to really encourage you guys to take that today. Michelle and I had taken it while we were in the pool in Florida, and we were just like blown away. And so you got to see what kind of 2 top color personalities you were, and the lowest one on there. So sometimes we think we want to be all of them, but we can't. Right, Michael?
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Michael?
Who's going diamond this month?
Raise them up.
Who's going diamond? There's 5,000 G's on the line. I think you guys have to take complete advantage of that. What I'll end with is that, I have just found that in this business in 2.5 years, and being a person that was a green and a red green, I've just found that I've met so many amazing people. Every year that I go to an event, everything that we have gone through and built and our downline, I feel that there's such a connection with my downline now that they're more my best friends than the best friends I had before. I would rather spend time talking to them, coaching, mentoring them, those types, those people, and telling them the whole time, I'm in class right now for that Millionaires Club, but you guys can all come along, and you got to grab a hold of that. Find what makes you excited in the inside, and when you feel that burn, when it completely almost makes you feel like you're crawling out of your skin, then you know what angle you got to run with, because a lot of people don't know their why, or they don't have their story, or whatever the case may be. You just gotta dig deeper, and as Mark always says, you got to dig deeper and you got to dream bigger. So if that boat is on there and it doesn't excite you, then you might need to think about the Titanic at this point in time. You know, you cannot sit here and say, okay, pontoon boat, Titanic. Okay, well, that just kind of made me a little bit upset. Get unsettled, get uncomfortable is the biggest tip I can give you today off of the colors, is get uncomfortable. Look at what you do every day and then say to yourself, I don't do this enough, or I don't do that enough. Get uncomfortable. I hated doing videos for the longest time. All of a sudden, I promoted the Diamond in March. My upline, Amber Duluth, says to me, well, you didn't get to do your AHA meeting at the grit meeting, so since you didn't get to do it, you have to do it in a video and send it out to everybody. I was like petrified. But once I did it, then I was like, you know what, this isn't bad. So now all you can ever do is, if you follow me on my Facebook, you're just going to see that I'm like Facebook Live all the damn time, whether I'm talking at works, whether I'm drunk, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, I'm on damn Facebook Live all the time. So, you know, I could just tell you is that get uncomfortable and dig deep and dream bigger. And once you can start to do those types of things, your business will flourish, because there isn't going to be anything that holds you back.
Thank you so much, Michael. We really appreciate seeing you on our Zoom today. Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you. All right.
Bye, Michael.
Oh, guys, we'll see you later. Thanks.
See you later.